I'm NatalieJ from KCOH, the Nitro. And I also happen to have an account with YouTube, so a lot of my stuff goes up on YouTube as well. So what I wanted to do this evening was just learn a little bit more about who you are as a person. How did you get to this particular point? Why are you at this particular point? And what's your goals and objectives?
Well,
share.
You just want me to talk, huh?
Yeah, I want you to talk.
Oh, I'm looking at you, not the camera.
You can look at me.
That's pleasant.
Thank you.
All right. Lucius Walker. Was born 77 years ago in
Really?
Roselle, New Jersey. My family had moved from South Carolina to North Carolina. I was conceived in North Carolina. I was born in New Jersey. How much detail do you want?
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I like that. Okay.
I'm in Houston.
There you go.
In New Jersey.
What part?
Roselle.
Roselle. Who is Roselle? Is that the southern
Near
part?
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth. Okay, I know where Elizabeth
About
is.
15 miles, I guess, south of Newark.
Okay.
Which considers itself an enlightened state.
Oh, yes.
The enlightened Northeast.
Yes.
And I learned early on how to fight racism and negative, arrogant attitudes. I had a college counselor who did not believe that us'uns who grew up in my section of the town should go to college. He had plans for us to go to the factory, something different, and I felt better. So I fought and struggled, and I wasn't making much progress with Mr. Callahan. And one day I went home, and my father, very observant person, said, "Boy, what's wrong with you?" And I said, "Mr. Callahan said, I can't go to college." And my father had probably never seen the inside of a college, third grade education, but a man of infinite wisdom and just a sense of pride and a sense of self that meant so much to me. He looked at me, he said, "Boy, you can do anything you want to do."
Nice. Nice.
And I was just pastor in the church, but making the gospel live, having the gospel inspire actions that would make for a better quality of life for people in jobs, and housing, and education. And that's what I've really tried to focus my ministry on.
Let me ask you a question. In terms of women, you must have encountered single women, single parents, head of household, and some households where there was challenges either with some of the social ills like the drug abuse or maybe some of the health problems like HIV, AIDS, and things like that. How would your ministry, or how did your ministry impact us, a group like what I'm making reference to?
Well, when I became a pastor of a church in later life, we had a lot of programs and activities designed to help shape the life of our young people, to give them a sense of dignity and worth, young men and young women, creating scholarship funds that enable them to go on to school, just encouraging young women to think for themselves, and encouraging children to learn how to use safe sex, and dispelling the notion among the young men back when, in those years, that they could do whatever they wanted to do sexually, and just so all the young women that this is a world in which the strengths of women, even before the so-called feminist movement. And I think that came from a real love and respect and appreciation for my mother.
Absolutely.
She was just an outstanding person.
Absolutely.
Through her, she didn't realize quite how, but I was always like drawing the lines and sort of connecting the dots and trying to wrestle with the questions of why. And I would go with her to the houses where she worked, especially Miss Mann. She was a housekeeper, and I was maybe 6 or 7, 8 or 9, and I was trying to figure out. You know, my mama kept her house spotless, and she went and kept these folks' houses. And what do these folk do? And why is she taking care of everybody? And that question haunted me. And later, it was after high school, I learned that Mr. Mann was vice president of what was ESSO before Exxon, Standard Oil. And I began to understand, you know, class as well as race as issues that really affected us, and that ought to be a part of the focus of my work as minister. And later I went to social work school when I went to work in Milwaukee. And all of these steps and developments helped to shape my life.
Do you feel that it's more of an economical issue, the racism? Or do you feel that it's actually...
I don't know what the balance is, and what the percentage is one and percentage of the other. What I do believe firmly is that in the European mentality, which is very much based on a sense of privilege, the right to own and control the rest of the world. That's very much a class thing, but it is also exercised in a way, in a manner of pure racism, which leads to the subjection of people of color. You know, there aren't that many